They say living alone is freedom, but no one warns you that freedom can also be an elegant way of being broken. Many of you commented in the last video that living alone is better than living with others. So today let's look at the science behind solitude and why can it change you more than you think. Solitude has been getting good press lately. On social media, it's romanticized as the ultimate symbol of independence, not depending on anyone, not being accountable, not expecting anything. And yes, it sounds tempting, but from a biological point of view, the human brain didn't evolve to be alone. Our ancestors survived thanks to cooperation, not isolation. The simple act of hearing a human voice activates brain regions that regulate stress and heart rate. When that voice disappears, the brain doesn't understand self-sufficiency. It understands danger, and little by little, it begins to change you. At first, solitude feels like a breath of fresh air. Your space, your rules, your silence, no one interrupts you, no one disappoints you, and the brain celebrates it. When you choose to isolate yourself, the dopaminergic system interprets that as control, and control is one of the greatest sources of pleasure. That's why at first sleeping alone, eating alone, or not answering messages feels so good. It's a kind of neurological honeymoon. Your mind mistakes isolation for peace because for the first time, there's no external conflict. But what it doesn't tell you is that the internal conflict is just beginning. Because while you enjoy the calm, the social neural networks, those that activate when you listen, speak, or connect with others, begin to weaken. Your brain keeps waiting for interaction, and when it doesn't get it, it starts replacing it with internal thoughts. That's where that voice that won't shut up even when you're silent is born. The brain changes. I'm going to tell you something that almost no one tells you. When you spend a lot of time alone, yes, your brain will change without asking your permission. And as I said, at first you will enjoy it. There's no noise, no drama. No one demands anything of you. But later the silence becomes stronger than any conversation. Your prefrontal cortex, the part that connects you to other people, slowly shuts down, and the amygdala, the one that detects danger, stays on all day. As if your brain knows something is wrong but doesn't understand why, you start releasing more cortisol, you sleep worse, you think more, and each thought feels more real than the world outside until you reach a point where you get used to it. You get used to the silence, to eating alone, to not telling anyone how your day went, and you think you're at peace, but in reality, you're just slowly fading away, like a candle getting used to the dark. It's not depression. It's not laziness. It's your mind learning to survive without anyone around. The worst part is that it succeeds. The illusion of independence. There comes a point where you think you've mastered it, that being alone is your new and improved version. You don't need anyone, you don't miss anyone, and that sounds powerful, doesn't it? But it isn't. What's really happening is that your brain adapts, as it always does. It learns to live with less social dopamine, to feel less empathy, to reduce the oxytocin spikes you normally get from hugging or simply listening to someone. And that comes at a price. Your nervous system becomes more reactive, you get irritated easily, you sleep worse, and the constant cortisol starts to disrupt your immune system and your heart. Literally, prolonged loneliness increases the risk of premature death by 30%, according to several studies. But the saddest part isn't that, is that when someone finally comes along, you no longer know how to receive them. Your emotional defenses are so active that any attempt at closeness feels like a threat. So you withdraw, saying you're fine just like this, and you believe it. You convince yourself that total independence is maturity, when in reality, it's just an elegant way of avoiding getting broken again. And look, if you're alone, that's fine. There's nothing broken about you. Sometimes life simply falls silent for a while, but don't get too used to that silence because even though it hurts to admit it, the body doesn't just need oxygen and food. It also needs contact. It needs voices, glances, silly laughter. That's medicine too. If you've been feeling disconnected for a while, don't try to fill the void with noise or people who only make you feel more alone. Start with something simple. Go for a walk, talk to someone, listen. Your brain, believe it or not, heals when you talk. And yes, living alone can bring you peace, but sharing that peace with someone else is what reminds you that you're still alive. So don't shut yourself away to protect yourself from the world, because the world, with all its noise, is what keeps you human. Subscribe.